Hey everybody, it's Coach MT and you're back with another episode of Simply the Best Coaching Podcast. Earlier in the week, we touched on Cinderella Step-Sisters with an analogy that we dropped, and today we're going to dive into that concept and what it really meant and what it looks like in our lives today. And bonus, how we can free ourselves from this. And this episode is all about understanding. So many of us are trying to force ourselves into roles that we don't fit in or don't fit in anymore. And finally, we're here to learn how to do what? To stop it so we can free ourselves from this bondage and reclaim our true identity. So you're going to want to stick around for this. Let's jump right in and talk about the Cinderella Step-Sister analogy. When I posted it, I was speaking directly related to those two individuals, and we viewed them as ugly, trying to fit into a position that they didn't even fit. For example, both of them knew that their foot was the wrong size for the slipper that the prince tried to get them to put their foot in. So when he presented it, one was a slender foot. She tried to squeeze her foot into there, and the one with the bigger foot, she tried to squeeze her foot in there, and there was a moment of despair when one got her foot in there, but what? It still didn't fit. No matter how much we forced it, it's going to not fit and slip out, right? Now, this is where I see the connection with our lives. Like the stepsisters, we often try to squeeze ourselves into roles, jobs, relationships, and societal expectations that were truly, obviously, not meant for us. The shoes were not fitting or don't fit, but we keep trying, like the sisters, to fit ourselves into these uncomfortable situations. It will leave us to being frustrated from the uncomfort and sometimes even hurting us. And guess what? Just like the stepsisters, we're forcing ourselves into those molds, leading us to true, utterly discomfort. We can release that and embrace happiness. What does it cost us when we wear shoes that don't fit? Let's break it down. When you constantly put on shoes that don't fit, what's going to happen to your feet? You're going to get blisters. Yes, you're also going to feel the pain and the strain of that discomfort. And it's not just a physical thing. It's going to show up emotionally and mentally too. How many of us are trying to be someone that we're not? And maybe you're in a job that doesn't align with your passions, doesn't align with the person that you truly, really are. Maybe you're trying to juggle too many responsibilities because society tells us what you should do. Newsflash, you don't have to do nothing that nobody tell you to do. You're grown. Put that superwoman cape down. Now, some of us were raised with that mentality and we were nurtured in that sense to help us to survive in this cruel world. But we want to make this world a better place for our children and our legacy, though. So the best way to do that is by example. So now what we're going to do is stop conforming to the norms or social norms, and we're going to stand up and embrace our true self. This brings you to the mnemonic device that I created, SHOE, S-O-E. Now, I created this device because it helps us to understand and remember all this stuff that I'm talking about. This method is a nod to the Cinderella analogy, but it's also the roadmap to breaking free from those tight, uncomfortable roles that we put on. How does the SHOE method work? Well, the first thing you do with anything, the S in SHOE stands for self-awareness. That's the first step, becoming aware of what is going on and the role that you play in it. What parts of your life feel uncomfortable that don't align who you are today? It's all about being honest with yourself, where you are, and what's really driving your decisions. Next, we're going to stumble upon the H. This is pointing directly at the heel and the hurt. Once you identify where you've been squeezing yourself into the wrong mold, it's time to address the pain. And whether it's emotional exhaustion from trying to live up to expectations or mental stress from always saying yes to obligations, you need to allow yourself to heal. That means setting firm boundaries, y'all, and asking for help. And guess what? That's totally okay. Now, the O stands for owning your truth. Not this fake truth that everybody's talking about. There's only one truth, the truth. This is a very and powerful step. It's time to own who you truly are, embrace yourself, identify and recognize what brings you joy, what you're passionate about, and stepping into your authentic self. identity and stop worrying about what others expect from you, and no more trying to fit into somebody else's shoes or the shoes that they gave you to put on, okay? Then the E is for evolve. Lastly, evolve into the person you are meant to be. This is not going to happen overnight. This is a process. So take small steps, and this will lead you closer to living a life that fits. You'll start to notice that when you embrace your true self, yes, you, that they'll start to feel more comfortable. You know, we have to wear them in sometime, right? So don't expect it to just, voila, happen overnight. Now, this leads us to the power of authenticity. When you stop trying to be someone else and start embracing your own path, amazing things will start to happen. You start to find joy in your day-to-day, and you feel more connected to your purpose. And the stress of living up to everyone else's expectation begins to slowly fade away, right? Being authentic does not mean you're perfect. For some reason, we got that misconstrued. It means you're real, and that where your true strength comes from. And we stop wearing shoes that don't fit. Instead, we design shoes that were truly made and tailored for us, that fits our needs, our desires, and our goals. So, here's your challenge for the week. Try out the shoe method in one area in your life. Start with self-awareness. What roles, obligations, or expectations feel uncomfortable to you? Then work through the steps. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. You need support. Reach out to a coach or mentor. And don't forget, I'm always here to help guide you along the way at simplythebestcoach.com. If you found this episode helpful, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you are ready to take off those tight shoes and step into your true self, head over to simplythebestcoach.com. And we are here to help you. You might even get the chance to work directly with me. And I'm looking forward to that. But until next time, I want you to stay empowered and remember, you are simply the best the way that you are. Bye.